Welcome to my kitchen. This is Dana Tries It. Thank you for joining me. If you like this content, please subscribe, give it a like, leave a comment. And if you're new here, welcome. And thank you for those people who are continuously following or have watched a video in the past. I really appreciate it. Today we are going to be making something that I usually purchase prepackaged and I eat almost daily. Okay, let's get into it. Today's recipe, and yes, I am really trying it for the first time, is baked granola. So actually the recipe is called Healthy Granola, and it's by cookieandkate.com. The reason I picked this recipe, first of all, is because it's very adaptable. So it's gonna say like 1.5 cups of nuts and or seeds. So you can really go and explore different types of granola. You don't have to make it the same way every time. So that's what I'm really excited about. Okay, so I also wanted to make this because I eat granola almost daily. Every weekday, for the most part, I eat a cup of Greek plain yogurt. Aldi has one that only has 2 grams of sugar. So I've been getting that because you'll be surprised, even in plain Greek yogurt, sometimes there's added sugar and stuff like that. And berries. Not only does it sweeten up the yogurt, but it also has antioxidants, things like that. And then I like to add a little bit of granola on top, maybe like 1/4 cup, not too much. But I like getting the seeds and nuts in there as well. Some protein. I got protein from the yogurt too. And I just really like to have something that sustains me in the morning because I am a teacher, so I have to go a little bit of time before I can eat lunch. So I think that's it's been working pretty well, but I want to really control what goes in that. So I found this pretty easy recipe and adaptable recipe, and that's what I was looking for. So we're also, I've lined a large baking sheet with parchment paper, preheated my oven to 350 degrees. Here we go. All right, first ingredient, and most of these ingredients are from Aldi. I do not have any brand partnerships with any of these products, but I usually shop at Aldi. So I think maybe I'm gonna do this with Aldi stuff and then maybe move on to find some different things at other stores. But first, we need 4 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. Okay, so that's gonna be our base, which it seems like it's gonna make a lot of granola, which I'm excited for because usually, again, I eat this almost daily and it keeps for about a week or 2. So that'll be perfect. I also want something I can make pretty easily on the weekend and have for the rest of the week. Okay, next we are going to add 1.5 cups of nuts and or seeds. So the recipe does say that they usually use 1 cup of nuts and 1/2 cup of seeds. So I'm gonna do the same, but I have 2 different types of nuts. So I, at the store, got almonds. These are just unsalted almonds because we're gonna be adding salt and different flavorings to them. And I had from the holidays still some pecans because I made candy pecans. So I wanted to sort of use these up as well. And you can eyeball it. It's not that big a deal if there's a little bit more. Okay, so almonds and pecans for me. You can use any type of nuts. You can use walnuts, whatever you like. All right, next, we're going to use 1/2 cup of seeds. I went and at the store found sunflower kernels. They're roasted. They're salted, which I didn't necessarily want, but I think that's gonna be okay. So I'm gonna use 1/2 cup of sunflower seeds or kernels because they're de-shelled. So I think they're called kernels once they don't have the shells. So I'm gonna throw those in there. You can use pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds. I think I actually had some of those, but I want to kind of change it up a little bit because I've been adding those into a lot of things. So any type of seeds, you can do that as well. Or you can omit the seeds if you're not seed person or have seeds around. So that's nice. That's nice that this recipe is pretty flexible. Next, we're going to add a teaspoon of, okay, hold on a second. It's a teaspoon of fine grained sea salt or 3/4 of a teaspoon of table salt. So you want to just kind of scale it back slightly if you're using table salt. I did not get to pick up a different type of salt, so I am using table salt. Three-quarter teaspoon and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Actually, I'm gonna add just a dash more because it looked like a little bit was out of there. Okay, so then we are going to mix this up. Go to the recipe on the back. Yes, and stir this together. Okay, I'm gonna get, I guess I'll just use this big spoon. All right, so we're gonna just lightly toss everything. Make sure that seasoning goes around too. You don't want just a clump of salt or a clump of cinnamon. I'm so excited for this. Then you're gonna add a half a cup of olive oil. This one's from Italy. You can add also a half a cup of melted coconut oil. Next, we also want to add a half a cup of maple syrup and or honey. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quarter of a cup of maple syrup. This is fresh maple syrup, the real stuff. Over the holidays, I used this acacia honey. It is from Aldi, and it has part of the beehive in here, and it was pretty good. So I'm going to actually add the rest of this in here as well, because I've been trying to get rid of this. I wasn't sure what I was going to use it for, so this seems perfect. Ooh, okay, I'm going to pour that in now. See some of that honey getting in there as well. The last thing we're going to do before we mix this all together is add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, now we can give this a good mix, and we want everything to be really coated in that olive oil, the honey and maple syrup, and that vanilla extract. So if you see anything that's dry, try to pick it up from the bottom and definitely get it covered. I have my pan here. It's lined with parchment paper, and I am going to spread an even layer of this granola down. That looks awesome. And you can adjust this as you go. Like if you want more cinnamon, you want more nuts in there, of course you can always add and subtract it. I don't think it will really mess with the recipe, and that's really what I was looking for from a granola recipe. We usually buy different types of granola. We don't stay with the same one. If you want to add dried nuts to this as well, you're going to do this after it bakes. It also suggests adding chocolate chips or coconut flakes, which I thought was a good idea. Next, you're going to put this in the oven. Again, it was preheated at 350 degrees for about 21 to 24 minutes. You're going to bake it until it's lightly golden. So you're going to stir about halfway. So if you want a loose granola, you'll just stir this around with your spoon. If you want it to be more of clusters, then it might be ready, and you might probably let it cool for a minute or two and break it apart. So it'll be extra clumpy if you do it that way. We decided we were going to have a loose granola this time because we add it to our yogurt and we like to mix it around. Next time I'm going to try the clusters. I think I would like that as well. Maybe more of a snack for us. Then you're going to let the granola cool and top with dry fruit. If you wanted to do the chocolate chips and or coconut flakes, that's when you would add it as well. And then you would break your granola into pieces, or you would stir again. You can store in an airtight container for 1 to 2 weeks, or in a freezer bag in the freezer for up to 3 months. They do suggest that you take that bag out of the freezer, let it become room temperature, for about 5 or 10 minutes before you eat it, because the dried fruit can freeze and you don't want to crack your teeth on your granola. So I'm gonna bake this. Let's see what it looks like when it's done. Okay, I just took the granola out of the oven halfway, gave it a stir. There's no way that I was breaking apart granola. It was absolutely loose. So I don't know, maybe I needed to really pack it down more, but didn't happen. So I mixed it, I patted it down a little bit more, and I'm putting it back in the oven for 15 minutes. It does say up to 24 minutes, so I did 11 minutes, and now I'm doing 15 minutes. So it'd really be like 26 minutes. I'll check it on it before that, but doesn't seem at that stage at this point. And hence why Dana tries it. Okay, I just pulled this beauty out of the oven. It's smelling so good. The maple syrup and the cinnamon are just permeating throughout the house. It's awesome. It's lightly golden, and I will say to the touch, it really falls apart. So it's not clumpy. So I don't know how, maybe as it cools, it will, the syrup and the honey will kind of solidify and do that. So I'm gonna see. So you want to cool this for at least 45 minutes. So I will be back and we'll see what the end result looks like. Here we go. Let's try it. Okay, the granola has cooled for about an hour. This is what it's looking like. It looks gorgeous and it smells really good. So clumping, yes, it's pretty loose and it kind of falls apart to the touch, though you can find small clusters, if you can see that, and it's pretty solid in the middle. So I was thinking maybe I would take my spoon here, and then there you go. You can definitely find clusters, but I would say this whole thing is not gonna be something that you would just pick up and break. So there you go. It's delicious. I'm gonna give it a try and see how it is. Cheers. It's really delicious. It's very toasty. I would say maybe if you wanted to make it sweeter, a little bit more of the maple syrup. The nuts are like, I had one earlier. It was very toasty. The pecans for sure. Like there's no other way to eat pecans than, I'm pretty sure I just said pecans and pecans in this video too, than being toasted. The almonds were really crispy on the outside, where these were unsalted and flavorless, so that's awesome. So I'm going to stir this up. I have a airtight container, and this should stay for about a week to 2 weeks, which is great because we'll probably finish this granola by the end of 2 weeks, and I will make some more. I was thinking of some good combinations. Comment below with some different granola combinations. Maybe I'll do another video like this. I was thinking for the dried fruit, dried apricots and golden raisins with, instead of olive oil, using the coconut oil and coconut flakes, so it has that coconut flavor to it as well. Maybe even some dried mango would be good in here. It does say that if you're using larger fruit that you can cut it down. I used some dried cherries and some dried cranberries. I did not cut down the cherries just because I'm okay with it, but if you wanted to cut them in half, I think that would be okay. Comment below some different combinations. I'd love to try this again. One thing I wanted to do too is to try it over some yogurt, because that's how I usually eat it. So I have some yogurt here. Before I package this up, I want to give it a try. All right, here we go. I'm so excited. And now usually I put fresh berries in here too, but I really wanted to try it just the granola and the yogurt. Cheers. This is really, really good. It's exactly how, it's like even lighter and fresher than ones that I get in the grocery store. I think the ones in the grocery store actually have way more sugar and salt. And this is not needed at all, especially with that toasty flavor. So give it a try. Super healthy. Again, Healthy Granola, cookieandkate.com. I'll post the link below so you can get the recipe. And thanks for joining me. If you like this video, give it a like. Please subscribe so you can stay up to date with my content. I'm trying to push out 2 videos a month. So I'm a little ahead of myself right now, so fingers crossed. But that's my goal for this year. And comment below if there's anything you would like me to try that you just really stand by. And I might just give it a try. All right. Have a great rest of your day. If you've tried a different granola recipe, shout it out too. I don't mind. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.